Donald Trump returned from vacationing at Mar-a-Lago to Washington, D.C. yesterday, where he instantly crashed the markets in the United States of America after announcing that he would indeed be instituting the tariffs against our allies, or should I say now our former allies, Canada and Mexico. That led our stock market to take a nosedive during a press conference that Donald Trump held in the White House. And it also led to Canada implementing retaliatory tariffs, which was announced by Prime Minister Trudeau. Also, a number of premiers in Canada, like the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, announced that he would be inflicting pain on the United States. Doug Ford said he would be cutting off all electricity provided by Canada to the United States. And he also said that he would be inflicting anything and everything to harm the United States economically because the United States is coming after Canada. Here's Doug Ford during an appearance. For example, he's the Premier of Ontario, saying, "I'm going after absolutely everything." Here, play this clip.
Largest purchaser of alcohol in the world. We buy over 3,600 products from 35 states. I talked to the governor of Kentucky and Mitch McConnell. Don't touch our bourbon. I'm going after absolutely everything. And I don't want to. We keep the lights on to 1.5 million homes and manufacturing in New York, in Michigan, and in Minnesota. If he wants to destroy our economy and our families, I will shut down the electricity going down to the U.S. And I'm telling you, we will do it. It's unfortunate. I would rather ship you more electricity, ship you more critical minerals. I want to ship you more energy, more potash to keep your farmers going, and uranium that you use for your nuclear power. It comes through from Saskatchewan over to Ontario. And it's going to be a massive, massive problem.
Yesterday, we also learned that the Atlanta Federal Reserve, as part of their GDP quarter one tracker, now estimates that there will be about a negative 2.8% GDP contraction for the first quarter. There was expectations that GDP growth, had Donald Trump done absolutely nothing under former President Biden's economy, should have been about 4% GDP growth in the first quarter. Now, negative 2.8%. In other words, we are heading into recession, Great Recession, and potentially depression territory. Economists are now saying they would not be surprised if there was a recession. But folks, Donald Trump is posting away on a social media platform that everybody should just be having fun. He says to the great farmers of the United States, these tariffs are going to be fun. He goes, "Have fun, everybody!" Exclamation point. Meanwhile, Donald Trump sent out his Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, on Fox, and she gave her plan, the Trump administration plan, to lower egg prices. She wasn't saying this jokingly. The Trump administration plan to lower egg prices, or to increase the supply of eggs, because it's hard to even get eggs these days, is all Americans need to get a chicken, and they need to raise chickens in their backyard, and that'll make everything great. You can get the eggs yourself. Here, play the clip.
I think the silver lining in all of this is, how do we, in our backyards, we've got chickens too in our backyard. How do we solve for something like this? And people are sort of looking around thinking, wow, well, maybe I could get a chicken in my backyard. And it's awesome. I agree with you.
Yeah, I think everyone who isn't a farmer right now wants to be. So you're in the right department, Brooke.
Then you had Peter Doocy on Fox deliver the news from the Trump administration that they would cut off aid to Ukraine if President Zelensky did not immediately go on TV to issue an apology to Donald Trump for how he behaved. Before I play this clip, let me be clear. There was nothing wrong about the way President Zelensky, a wartime hero, a wartime president, someone whose land, whose country was invaded by Putin, there was nothing wrong at all about the way Zelensky behaved. The way Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and the Trump authoritarian regime behaved is absolutely despicable and brought a great deal of shame to the United States of America. Here's what Peter Doocy had to say. Let's play it.
I have been told by a senior official here that nothing's going to happen with this minerals deal until Zelensky goes in front of cameras and makes an explicit public apology for the way that he behaved himself, behaved in the Oval Office with that meeting.
And this from Trump's disastrous press conference yesterday in the White House. Here you can see Fox displaying a ticker called Dow Watch, showing the markets crashing as Donald Trump is talking about tariffs. Let's play it.
The United States has been taken advantage of for 40 years The United States has been a laughingstock for years and years. That's why this gentleman is built in Taiwan instead of building here. It would have been better if he built here. If we had a president that knew what they were doing, and we had a lot of them very bad on trade.
Here was Donald Trump talking about the 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico. Let's play it as well.
But so we're going April 2nd. But very importantly, tomorrow tariffs 25% on Canada and 25% on Mexico, and that'll start. So they're going to have a tariff. So what they have to do is build their car plants, frankly, and other things in the United States, in which case they have no tariffs. In other words,
as Carl Quintanilla points out, over the past 2 weeks, here's what went down. We had the biggest drop in retail sales in nearly 2 years, the biggest drop in personal spending since February 2021. Jobless claims are incredibly high, exceeding expectations. And what's Donald Trump saying? We should spend less time worrying about Putin, is what Donald Trump posts. Spend less time worrying about Putin, everyone. I mean, that's literally the types of things he's posting all of the time while attacking President Zelensky. As part of these tariffs against Canada and Mexico, the automotive industry is reporting that we can all expect somewhere between a $6,000 to $12,000 price increase on buying automobiles right now. By the way, Russia loves everything that's going on. The Russian TV propaganda, state regime media, and Vladimir Putin's personal propagandist, a guy named Dmitry Peskov, is basically saying, look, Russia is totally aligned with the U.S. The Russian foreign policy is indistinguishable from the U.S. And take a look, everybody, the U.S. has stopped all military aid to Ukraine. And while Russian state regime media was blasting that out, American state regime media, Fox, was simpatico, doing the exact same stuff. Basically, here you had J.D. Vance on the Hannity propaganda show last night saying that America's working hard with the Russians. Here, play this clip.
I think that if he called and had a serious proposal for how he was going to engage in the process, look, there are details that really matter that we're already working on with the Russians. We've already talked with some of our allies. He needs to engage seriously on the details. I think once that happens, then absolutely we want to talk. Are
you convinced Putin and the Russians are willing to meet them? I don't want to say the word halfway. They're willing to do their part to achieve a negotiated settlement.
Am I convinced? No. But do I think that there's a real pathway? You got to trust but verify. You've got to engage in the negotiation. You've got to see what steps people are willing to take. This is another thing.
Caroline Leavitt, Donald Trump's Dmitry Peskov, Donald Trump's chief propagandist, went on Hannity and she said, okay, the reason that the economy's crashing, all of this you don't understand. Trump's so smart. This is all just part of his art of the deal. This is how he does deals, everybody. Here, this is what she says. Here, play this clip.
This is major news. I know everyone wants to talk about tariffs, bad, bad, bad. No, why don't people understand the president is a never-ending negotiator? Mm-hmm.
He's a never-ending negotiator. It's the art of the deal. But also, the president has proven, as he did in his first terms, that tariffs can bring good-paying jobs back here to the United States of America. They protect critical industries here at home. And President Trump is serious when he says he wants to make America the manufacturing superpower of the world. And
take a look right here at Donald Trump's net approvals right now. As you can see here, Trump's net approval is much lower than any other previous president in their first 100 days, and for good reason. Let me show you here. This guy is supposed to be the next chancellor of Germany, Friedrich Merz. And here he is talking about what he perceived went down in the Oval Office, where Trump and J.D. Vance attacked Zelensky. The new chancellor of Germany, who soon will be the chancellor, he was talking about how it seemed to be an intentional and deliberate ambush against Zelensky. And I agree with that. Here, play this clip.
In my estimation, not a spontaneous reaction to interventions by Zelensky, but obviously a deliberate escalation in this meeting in the Oval Office. Usually these press events last only a few minutes. On Friday, that was different. And yes, I must say I was somewhat astonished also by the mutual tone of interaction. That was not helpful for the matter. I advocate that we prepare ourselves to do much, much more for our own security in the coming years and decades. I am also advocating that we do everything to keep the Americans in Europe. I believe that the Americans have their own interest in, or should have, staying in Europe and maintaining a transatlantic partnership with Europe. But I do not have a complete picture, and I do not have a final judgment.
By the way, just taking a look at what Donald Trump was doing over this weekend, more photos are emerging from what was going on in Mar-a-Lago. Just some weird photos. You had this photo at Mar-a-Lago of guests posing with Eric and Lara Trump, and the guests were like grabbing each other's crotches. Also at Mar-a-Lago, while Europe was holding an emergency meeting, and Canada was there as well, Turkey was there as well, about how to defend Ukraine from Russia's unlawful invasion and how to create a new security alliance because of America forfeiting its place in the world. Here's what we're seeing, what was going on in Mar-a-Lago. Looks like Trump was holding somehow a dog charity beauty bathing suit pageant thing. I don't even know what the hell is going on here. Other news to report quickly as well. The prices of lumber, futures lumber market, is now going really high, surging, making it very difficult for homes to be built or bought at this point. Let me just share this with you. This is from Charlie Angus, my buddy Charlie Angus, member of Canadian Parliament. Here's what he has to say about Trump. Here, play this clip.
Well, Donald, you had to bring a guy from the Russian state media in to watch you try and beat up President Zelensky, and you thought that would make you look good? It made you look like the crook and the cheap hood that you are. It sickened us in our stomachs, but I've been talking to people all over the world who are sickened in their stomachs by what you tried to pull off. Zelensky is a man that you will never be in a million years. He's a genuine hero. So, Donald, where are you going to go with this? Are you going to continue to be the puppet and the bootlicker of Vladimir Putin, another criminal, a guy whose economy isn't 1/5 or 1/10 of what the United States is? Is that what you're going to give up? Because the rest of the world understands now very clearly who you are, and we understand who heroes are, and you're not one of them.
Finally, yesterday they decided that Melania Trump was going to hold a press conference about digital bullying and stopping online bullying. She sat next to Ted Cruz, who Trump bullied Cruz's wife and called her ugly. But here's what Melania had to say yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Senator Cruz.
I think that should be on.
It is on?
Mm-hmm. It's not very loud.
Good afternoon. I'm here with you today with a common goal: to protect our youth from online harm.
But folks, with all of this going wrong, what is Fox doing? Fox is trying to blame this on former President Biden. Here's what they said.
Last one. What's left of the Biden economy is slumping so badly. It's just slumping. This is the legacy of the Biden economy. Will we hear? I want you to tell me, Caroline Levitt, I want you to say, Larry, we're going to have lots of talk about tax cuts and deregulation and energy production and economic growth in the State of the Union message tomorrow. Upbeat, I used to call it growthier, Caroline. We're going to have a growthier speech tomorrow to keep those animal spirits going. Tell me it's all true.
It's all true, Larry. I can confirm the president is going to talk about his economic agenda. And truly, this administration is working around the clock to bring down the cost of living for the American people, to deregulate the regulations that Joe Biden put on every industry across the board. And, tax cuts are a huge priority for this president, and he'll be talking directly to Congress about that tomorrow night.
All right, great stuff. You're really terrific. Caroline.
There you have it. Maybe Donald Trump can just go back to Mar-a-Lago or go back to wherever. I mean, it's so shameful what Trump and his administration's doing to our country. And then they make that post, have fun. Are you kidding me? Have fun? Sick people. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.